Paul, on the way down today, I was listening to some audio that we had recorded with GMAC and Padraig Harrington before the tournament started, and GMAC was so excited about the tournament itself, the setting, and he was really hoping that the new slot was going to help a big title sponsor come on board, and it's just so disappointing that all you guys not playing this weekend.
That we've all played rubbish.
Thanks for saying it.
It's hugely disappointing on a personal level and on an Irish level for the Irish Open. I think the weather caught me a bit by surprise, to be honest. The forecast I was hearing all week was going to be a great forecast, and I was prepared for good weather. Practice day was perfect. Tuesday, Wednesday was beautiful, and then we had 15 holes of rain on Thursday morning, and then the wind blew really strong yesterday afternoon. So it was two tough days, to be honest, that I played in, and but at the same time I can't have any excuses. I had opportunities to make the cut, but it's very disappointing because I feel I played well enough to make the cut.
Can you talk to us a bit about the importance of the Irish Open to Irish golf? I mean, because we know how well the GUI structures are working, and that if you are a good kid, that you're going to be spotted. But like, I remember as a kid going to Irish Opens, and it just completely reinvigorating my enthusiasm as a kid for watching golf and wanting to be a golfer. And I can only assume that kind of thing is still hugely important.
Yeah, it is. It is, absolutely. And I think the crowds have been very good, to be honest, this week. I've really enjoyed it. I know I haven't played well enough to make the cut, but I've really enjoyed being here, and it's always a pleasure. I wish the Irish Open was on every week. So I have enjoyed it, and of course it's great. Like you, I used to go to the Carroll's Irish Open in Portmarnock and Royal Dublin as a boy, and loved and got invigorated. And but the dynamics of the tour are different now. Back then, there was a huge difference between the top players and the bulk of the field in terms of playing ability. Now it's very, very different, and as a result you're seeing a lot of guys that people would not be familiar with their names that are really, really strong players, and the scoring is incredibly low. I mean, a level par cut around here for 2 days is extremely low cut. I mean, some of the amateur guys who have played can't believe it. They reckon that level par will be leading an amateur event after 2 days, and yet you're making the cut on the mark if you're in a pro. And that's just the level, and there's so many strong players in the European Tour now. 156 guys go out, only 65 make the cut, and it's a tough school. If you're slightly off your game, you're going to miss the cut.
Is the Irish Open, it doesn't seem as if it's in as rude good health as obviously we'd like it to be. It still does need that big title sponsor to come in and give it a massive push.
Well, I don't know, does it? I mean, I think somebody said there was 14 different sponsors involved at different levels this week, all contributing in their own way. We've got a very strong purse, we've got good crowds, we've got an excellent venue, and it's doing okay. There's a lot of tournaments that can survive. I mean, Irish Open is one of the few that can survive without having a title sponsor, and I think we've done pretty good. I think if there was a title sponsor, even better, but at the same time it's going to be financially viable this year. It's going to actually turn over a small profit, and I think that's great. Okay,
so maybe then learning to cut your cloth to the current situation is actually not a bad thing for everybody to go through, and it'll re-emerge as a much stronger thing if a title sponsor does come on board.
Yeah, if a title sponsor comes along, great. If not, I'm sure we can go along and get 14 other sponsors again next year, and also have big crowds that will come in, and we survive that way. And as everybody knows, it's extremely tough economic climate here in Ireland. It's really tough, and companies are finding it hard to project that big kind of money into sport that they used to, and that's understandable, but we still find a way of getting through, and we have done this year, and we've done last year and a couple of years before. And the government have been great as well too with Board Fáilte, to be honest, and that's very important. Golf is a very important business vehicle here in Ireland. A lot of towns and villages on the southwest coast of Ireland particularly survive on golf. I think golf contributes over 200 million a year into the exchequer. I mean, it's a lot of money that comes through golf, so that's why the government and Board Fáilte can justify putting money into the event.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll continue to do so. Paul, from your own perspective, are you in battle mode at the moment? This is a really busy time of the year. There's lots of big golf being played. Or are you trying not to get full-on Ryder Cup battle mode until you kind of need to?
I'm in battle mode at myself for having missed the cut. I'm kind of browsing, to be honest. I'm not really that involved in what's going on, and I'm not really that concerned about whether a player's form is brilliant at the moment or whether it's off. I'm very much aware that everybody's form goes up and down, and this time next year I'm going to be paying a lot more attention to form and who's on form, as as a team is starting to evolve, and I'm looking at picks and stuff like that. So this time next year I'll be more concerned. At the moment I'm browsing, I'm communicating with all the players and doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes for the tour, representing the tour in many ways, and also stuff like uniforms and team rooms and all that kind of stuff, getting all those in place. So there's a lot of work to be done at the moment, not necessarily with the players, but that will reverse this time next year, where most of the work will be with the players.
Yeah, so maybe this is very enjoyable at the moment. You get to kind of chill out and relax a little bit.
This is the honeymoon period, I'm aware of that.
And getting into battle mode, like, do you know what that's going to look like for yourself? Have you kind of already begun to strategize about that and how that relationship with the players will work, or is it just an extension of the, like, I was in the practice range, I managed to blag a place in one of the pro-am teams, and so I was kind of there when you were wandering around chatting to people, and it was interesting to see that, you know, the Ryder Cup captain has appeared and everybody's games perks a little bit. I know it's miles and miles away yet, but there was definitely a little frisson, I thought, of all right, okay, it's gonna, you know, and it seemed like it was very relaxed that you have this relationship with them all anyway, so it seems like it's an extension of that as opposed to okay, now we're formally talking about your form.
Yeah, I'd like to think that way. I want to be a relaxed captain, and I want the players to be relaxed around me. It's quite clear that the players got me the job. The players were very vocal in support of me being the captain, and I'm very grateful for that, and I want to repay that for them. And I've also been very fortunate. I've had 5 Ryder Cup experiences now, been involved in 5 Ryder Cups and won all 5, and been behind the scenes, and I know what's involved in winning a Ryder Cup, and to me there's a lot of common denominators that have worked well for us, and there's a template for success that I've seen and observed and been around and been part of in Europe, and I see my job as for identifying that template, adding a little bit to it, trying to make it stronger, and rolling that template out again. I'm not in there to revolutionise or do things massively different. I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and I just want to make it better. Are
you reading new stuff about management and that kind of stuff and team building, or is it again more of your own personal experience? Like,
to be honest, my ears are open all the time. I don't think I can get enough information when it comes to that. I met Mickey Hart this week. I had a great conversation with him. I've seen Jim McGinnis a couple of times this week as well too. Great conversations with him. Don't want to compromise one against the other, so we don't talk anything specific. But in general, man management and preparing a team and that kind of thing, I'm all ears, and I love meeting those kind of guys. And I'm sure I'll meet a lot more from other sports as well too. Over the next 12 months, and I think there's a lot to be learned, and some things I'll go, yeah, that's a great idea, I'm going to try and put that one together, and other things I'll think, you know, maybe that mightn't work in a European team environment. So I'm all ears, and I'll kind of filter all the information that I hear, but I'd like to gather as much as I can.
And what about picks? I mean, I know again it's so far out at this point, but do you have a set number of, okay, I want a certain number of people with experience and I want a certain number of rookies, and if a bunch of rookies play themselves into the team, then I'm going to go for experience with my picks? Or is it actually, does any of that kind of matter until?
To be honest, that's all of those things could happen, and until I see how the team is formulating, and until I see who's going to be on the team and who's not going to be on the team, and how everybody's form who's not going to be in the team is, I can't make a judgment, and I'll just have to wait and see. But safe to say that you know, I'll give a lot of thought to whatever I do.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. One final point: will you, now that you're not playing at the weekend, get to go to Croker tomorrow, or is that strictly watched on TV?
No, I'm preparing. To be honest, I'm preparing to play next week in France, and I'm at this moment in time, you know, I've missed a cut this week, which has been very disappointing, and it's about preparing for next week. And yeah, I'll observe the Dublin match and I'll tape it and I'll watch it at the right time, but I need to do a bit of work on my game tomorrow, so I'll be doing that.
What sort of stuff are you doing on your game at the moment? Is it?
To be honest, I was a bit sloppy around the greens this week, and I want to do a bit of work on that, turning 3 shots into 2. In tough conditions like we had, the strong winds yesterday afternoon, you're going to miss a lot of greens, and you know, there's a lot of straightforward up and downs that I should have been getting up and down on that I didn't. And
do you do that with a coach at this stage, or is it still is it yourself? That you
it's myself. It's not a technique problem, it's a feel problem. And it's also a little bit of competitiveness as well too. I think this is only my 4th event since January, so I haven't played anywhere near the golf I need to be playing, and you need to play golf, a lot of golf, to be competitive. And you know, for one reason or another, I've been busy, but I've made sure in the next couple of months my schedule is going to open up in terms of playing, and I'm going to play a lot more, and that will help my competitiveness as well too, and turn those 3 shots into 2 and have hopefully better results.
Well, best of luck with the whole thing. Thanks very much for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.